Hello everybody, Sebastian Keynes back with you with another Watcher of Realms video. Today, what I want to discuss with you is the Guild War. I had an opportunity to run this event twice in the Forerunner server and kind of get an idea of what people were thinking about and how to strategize for this competition. I will tell you that you're going to see that there will be 4 garrisons, minor garrisons. They call them strongholds. So there's the Allied stronghold, and then there's the big one, the big guild fortress. And at least in the guild that I was in, what they were trying to do is that they were going to stack the strong defenses in the strongholds here. Add a couple, 2 or 3 that were going to be very tough defenses to try to minimize the damage to the garrison, and also not allow people to get access to the main one right away. That was essentially the strategy. And if we could hold the 4 strongholds, then we would then hold the fortress, right? So at least it appears that in my guild, that's kind of the strategy that we are employing, whether it was by it was initiated by the guild leader or the vice leaders. I have no idea. It's been very quiet in the front, so people were just, I think, just picking spots. But based on where we are with the rosters and where we are with our BPs, it's very random. So I'm thinking that that's one possibility, to just try to make sure that we can hold the strongholds as much as possible to defend the guild fortress. Okay, so in trying to come up with defenses that are going to be great for this step. So first, yeah, I have to set up 2 garrison teams. Yes, I understand that. The one thing that I saw was that there were some strategies where they just would try to swarm at you to make sure the defender did not get a good chance to block. And so there were several different type of the teams that I would see to prevent that, and that included a lot of the fighters that could hit air units. So I know that the swarm strategy for me did not work if you against defenses that had twin field, had Aspen, Silitu, and Arrogance. Those were very tough to deploy the swarm strategy on. So you had to make sure that however you deployed in your soldiers were ones that were able to really take on the damage, sustain it, so then you have your next waves being able to do some damage and then hopefully get through the defender and the attacker to begin with. So just make sure that when you set up your defenses, essentially what I decided to do, or at least in my Forerunners account, I'm just going to put my 5 toughest fighters in there. So I'm going to pick a defender for the first one. Let me pick an air fighter and a powerful mage. And let's see here. How do we want to strategize these? Let me put a mage in there, and then I don't have any lords for this, so let me see. Something like that. Let's try that. Let's say deploy that. Just as an example, because I can change this between now and when the battle phase starts, right? So of course, I'm gonna make this here. I'm gonna put this here. He has great coverage, so now I can use him to attack the waves, and then anything that is a flying unit, we can certainly take care of that. He has great coverage, so I'm gonna put him there, and then Pyros will just add vulnerability. So something like that, it's what you can try to do to set up a defense. So that's one defense there. The second one, I'm gonna get a little bit dirty, so I'm gonna do those 2. Let me see, Silitu. Which tank do I want to bring in? I can say Oleg here. And do we want to bring the marksman, or do we want to bring another fighter? Just for this example, let's just put another mark. Oh, to do this? So do this. No, I want to make sure that any flying units that are coming can take down right away. So I'll do that. So the two will have coverage on this side, and can do something like this. Yeah, try something like that out. Let's save this defense. So now at least I have something that looks like a defense, something that can be tried out and see how that pans out. Now, now that I have picked my spot, now that's going to be the defense. One of the things that I will advise you is that once you set up your defense, and you also start binding heroes to your soldiers. So, for example, for my legendary demon soldier here, I essentially told him I'm gonna affiliate him with Valkyra. You can change this up to the battle phase. Once the battle phase starts, you cannot change the affiliation. But one thing that you can do is change the gears and the artifact. Okay, so make sure that any heroes you have affiliated during guild versus guild is not going to be a hero that you persistently and consistently are switching gear, right, or moving gear from one to another. So if at any point you think that hero may lose his gear, you better hope that they don't attack you, or that you have other options where you know the gear is going to be fixed on the hero, and then your soldier will then get the benefit from that. All right, so let me do one battle here, and like I was telling you here, so this is something that so you have a healer, and we have a mage, a fighter right behind that one, and then we have the defender with a marksman. So for this, in certain situations, it would be really tough to try to just swarm it and try to get through those two. So it looks like, and for this round, I'm going to have a chance to use 2 epics. This is key. So it's going to be, how do I want to use it? Who do I want it to start? And how do I want to finish the run? So typically what I did is that I went for tank first. Now let's swarm them in. Now I have my fighters, so let's try doing that. Now the one thing that I want to do, he's the reset. So here's the speed. So we're gonna try to burst through. So I'm just gonna swarm everybody in, and I'm gonna leave. Do I leave that one out? Do I want to use my epics? Yeah, I'm gonna try to finish up with the last one. Given how the intervals, it's going to take a while for these two to get out, but we can try to get through it. All right, so I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna start the battle. There are different strategies that you can go through, try to tackle each one. You get multiple chances. You just, I don't think you get to use your soldiers. So you see how it takes time for them. So now I'm sending everybody out to try to get through this. So I got one through, and then here comes the next swarm. So you saw that I sent my defender first to just try to keep everybody occupied, and then I got everybody else swarming in, and I closed it out with speed, and boom, he went through. Now, if this example had a very well built tank, and he had the artifact that gave her an additional block, and then you have a fighter right behind him that can has speed and can do damage and persist and get it down as soon as possible, and then you had those mages and marksmen possibly do a lot of damage. If those units were better have built, that strategy wouldn't have worked there. Okay, but given that I saw that the heroes were not as strong, it ended up to be a very casual battle. So let me look to see what the option here is going to be again. It looks to be a standard one here. So now I have a fighter here, healers, a marksman, and that's Crush, right? Yeah, that's Crush. So it's full of Crush, full of marksman. Do I want? So let's try. I'm gonna send the tank in. I'm gonna send. No, let's send this fighter out. And then I'm going to send this stubborn soldier, and I'm going to close it up with it. Can I add more? Nope, it's 4. not possible insufficient energy. So keep track of your energy. And it looks like I'm out. Okay, so let's try this. Even though it says that I was in danger because of the the battle power, I just want to see how it works. All right, so hopefully the tanks take up as much time as possible here. They're not doing well. Okay, so I got one through, and I'm hoping that at least one more gets through from here. And he did. And one more. There you go. So that is essentially kind of the strategy that I took during the test run in the Forerunner servers, to try to bring down these garrisons as much as possible, and you know, and try to you just contribute to your guild attack to try to bring those garrisons down. So now it gets a little bit tougher, right? So I might have to. So now I have AoE, and it looks like I have Scorch in the back with Wrath. The Wrath can block, so let's assume that that's a fully awakened Wrath. Okay. A Vortex, a healer, and then I have a mage. So my tank was taking too much damage initially. So what about if I send him out? I only have so 100 energy, and he's 33. I want to try him out. So I know he costs a lot of energy, but I want to see how much damage he can take in. And then I'm going to send a healer out to try to get him some help. These guys are annoying when they hit. So we can't apply the move, so we're going to hit hard. And I'm going to send in my legendary captain. And that's fine. Let's try this strategy, see how it pans out. So that's one thing that I learned. Sometimes the battle power does not really, the base power does not really matter much. It's just how you send these units out and how you can strategize. So my tanks are taking a little bit too much damage, but here are my healers. So now what I'm hoping is that they can heal as much as possible. They're holding. Now come my fighters. And okay, so I lost a couple, but I did enough damage to the fighters, so Vortex could not keep up in that regard. So yeah, so I lose that one because I needed to get 3 across, so that makes sense. So I had an incomplete run, which now requires one of my teammates to come in and clean it out, right? So that's how it would. Or if I have another opportunity, I could go again and then try to bring it down. So that's essentially how that would work. Aside from that, I can't. I mean, you're gonna get the opportunity to upgrade your soldiers by getting the fragments. You get the fragments by farming the gear raids 1, 2, and 3. That's how you're going to be collecting the epics and the rares and fragments to upgrade them. So this one I did upgrade. I have a green arrow, so it means that I can upgrade. So I'm going to bring him to 2. It looks like I have green arrow here, so I can upgrade him. So let's do that once. That's the cost to keep upgrading does increase after you do. So like 10, 20, 40, yeah, and then I think the next one will be 80. So it does take some, and you can then buy the fragments at the shop. You get 3, I believe, if you come the shop. Let me go to the shop really quick here, just to give you, yeah, the guild shop. So you get 3 of these fragments, and if I do it 3 times, then you get 9. Hold on that. Don't buy too many of this. Information has been released for the Forerunner servers that they are making adjustments to the guild wars, and they will decrease the prices for these fragments in the guild shop. So that means that you will get more for your guild coin if you wait for that adjustment to be made in the public server. So I will warn you not to go ham right away and trying to get as many of these soldiers as possible. Remember, we're still in kind of the beta phase of this. So they had trial number 1 in the Forerunner server. They made some adjustments that now those of us that are there are going to get to try out. We are going to get to try Guild Wars just to get a sense of how it works in the public server as it was on the beta for the Forerunner server. So just keep in mind that things will get adjusted, strategies will have to be refined, and definitely there are going to be some changes that are going to be added to it. For now, in the preparation phase, we have about 6 days to get ready for this, so make sure that you have set up some type of defense by 1029 and have affiliated your soldiers with your stronger characters. It says there, do it based on BP without gear. I didn't really see a difference when I was testing it out. So my strategy was just to kind of match my stronger characters and affiliating those to the demon soldiers that I was using, and then make sure that in the battle phase you attack as many times as you can. Try to make sure that you can win the battle, and try to bring as many of those garrisons down for your guild as fast as you can, because the sooner that you can bring things down, it allows your other guildmates to kind of strategize to assess where they want to spend the resources. You know, do you go in there to just finish off a garrison, or do you think that you can go and bring another one down by yourself? Kind of that type of deal. Do the rewards, get your training done, and then at the end, just remember this is in beta, so things will change. And I can tell you, at least from what they've released in the Forerunner server, in the news, that they will decrease the preparation phase. It will go down to 2 days, and then we'll have 4 days to do the battle, 1 day for the ranking and the calculation, and then the week starts again. You do this again, and then we will do it for 8 weeks, I think it was, and then you get a season ranking once everything is said and done, based on how you did during the first 8 weeks. I hope that was kind of information that you can use when setting things up. It's not supposed to be overly complicated, at least I don't think, but essentially will get a lot tougher once you start climbing up the tiers. So everything will be randomized, I guess, in the beginning, and then based on your performance and how you ranked after each matchup, you will get them placed into tiers, and then you'll probably get more adequate matchups as you go along with your guild in each one of these battles. If you have any questions, please post them below. I will try to get to them as much as I can. I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in and watching, and I will see you all in the next Watcher Rounds video.
Their souls are mine to take.